Hi, welcome again to Thrifty Cosplay, where I explain how I made some of my cosplays very cheaply and easily and kind of lazily. So, this week I'm going to be talking about how I made the female trainer from Pokemon Black, code Hilda. And I knew I wanted to do a Pokemon trainer, and as I was going through my options, I decided on Hilda because I have her hair. And if you can use your real hair, use it. I mean, I've seen people buy wigs where, like, the character has their hair. Like, it's their hair. And they buy a wig that's their hair. And I'm like, why? Why? I'm like, oh, it looks better in photos. And I'm like, but it's so hot and annoying, and you can tell I'm not super happy when I wear a wig. So whenever I can not wear a wig, it's great. And Hilda is my go-to comfy cosplay for warmer weather, and it's just great. So from bottom up again, how I did it, starting with, of course, the shoes. So these I got from Goodwill for, I want to say like $8. And I got these for a different cosplay, and because I just like them. So if you look at Hilda's design, she actually has pink on the bottom of her shoes, but because I'm using it for A, another cosplay as well, and B, my day-to-day life, obviously I'm not putting pink on the bottom of the shoes. No one noticed this. No one said anything. I mean, maybe one day I'll find a pair of shoes that are cheap and I don't feel bad about painting hot pink on the bottom of, but for now, these work, it's fine. So the next up is her pink socks, which are just a pair of pink socks I had, which is lucky because finding socks is difficult. But, you know, not that hard. And you could always just dye a pair of white socks pink, which isn't very difficult. And you wouldn't need much dye because it's just a pair of socks. So the next part was actually the trickiest part for me, which is her shorts. The tricky part was the little flaps here. So I found these shorts at Goodwill for, God, I can't remember. I should like make a list now from now on of how much I paid for things, but it had to have been like $5 max. That fit me, and I like the color of. And then for these things, which I had to figure out on my own because there were no tutorials on how to do this, yeah, I made a template in a computer program. I used Illustrator because I have it. You could hand tool it. You could use Photoshop. I just suck at straight lines, so I used that. Then it was just a matter of printing it out and measuring it to my thigh and where I wanted it and just getting it the right size on paper before I then got just like maybe a quarter of a yard of white fabric that I must have paid like $3 for. Maybe, I think I actually spent less, if I'm being honest, because I didn't really need anything specific. I just needed sturdy white and not see-through, which was actually the hardest part, was the not see-through white. And that helped by the fact that I had, you can't tell really, it's 2 sheets of fabric here. So transferred it out onto the white fabric, cut and then sewed, and it wasn't that difficult because it's a straight. Really, the hardest part was the corners, and then turned it out and ironed it. That was important. You iron it flat. I don't know if you can see, but there's little bunches there. I mean, it's not perfect. It's really not. But it looks the right shape size. From there again, it was just trial and error of pinning it onto the pants, of where I wanted it, how far I wanted it to go, how much I wanted to show, and where I needed it to be angled at. And then I literally just hand stitched it. You can see. There we go. You can kind of see it there. Just hand stitched it onto the actual line that the pockets were on here, so that, again, you can't really see it. Yeah, I can't even poke this out enough. You can't even see the stitching that I did. And again, not difficult. A little tedious when it was coming to placement and, you know, finding the size, but it wasn't that hard. You'll notice though that the shorts don't have the rips in it, and that's because I'm just a little afraid, because I've never ripped jeans before. I'm a little afraid I'm gonna screw it up and then ruin them forever, and then I have to do this process all over again. So maybe I'll find some crap jeans that I can test ripping out on, and then I'll do it later. But for right now, it's fine. Again, no one said anything. So her white shirt, which is just a cami that I got from Walmart for like $1, and that's it. There's nothing special there. I usually wear like a white sports bra with it, just because, I don't know. So her black vest. This I got again at Goodwill. I want to say for like $3, and it was actually like, it had these little like half sleeves on it, like kind of like this. They're called sweet sleeves. I don't know, but it had those originally, and I just cut them off. And because this is knit, I didn't have to seam it up, which is good because I hate seaming these. These suck so much, but I was lucky. I found like it fit me. It was the right like length and stuff, and it works. If you know, you can't find something like this, I would say, which is, I mean, black is probably the easiest kind of vest you can find. But if you can't find something like that that fits you, or you like the shape of, don't bother with a pattern. If you have a vest, or you have something that's, you know, close, you can just kind of trace that onto paper, and you can get like a very basic pattern to make a very basic thing. And I'll talk more about that in another video, because I actually did that for one of these cosplays. So next are the wrist bands, and these were made using some, what is it, fleece I had. I just had this fabric around for another thing I was making, little dolls. And I just used a bit of measuring tape around my wrist, and I figured out how wide it needed to be. And then I, you know, measured the width I wanted. And then just cut it out, and again, straight stitch on the sewing machine, not difficult. Then I just got some cheap Velcro from Walmart. Again, I think it was like, I want to say like $2, and I still have some. And then pink paint. Actually, it was white and pink. I had to do like 2 coats of white, and then like 2 or 3 coats of pink. And I think I had the white paint. I had to get the pink paint. But even if I counted the white paint, it was, again, like $2. The hardest part was just keeping the line straight, honestly. Like, really, that was the hardest part. And then the last bit is the hat, which, because I love this hat. Even though it's super bright and you can't really see. There we go. So, I've seen, well, I shouldn't wear this right now. But I've seen, like, people try to sell these online for, like, $20, $30, or, you know, even if you're not doing Hilda, other Pokemon trainers hats can go for, like, again, you know, a range from, like, 10 to 20, depending on quality. But you can just make it yourself easy enough. So I got this hat from, again, Walmart, and I think it was like $2 to $3. It's just a white hat. And then the pink paint that I bought for the wrist things. And so just painted this, painted the top part. This was a little tricky. So I found the logo online. I printed it out at the size that I needed it, and then I made a template. But the difficult part is because it's on a curved surface, so you can't just place the template on easy. It was a little tedious getting these curves, because again, where it is on the thing. But once I got it, painted it, I think I did like 3 coats of pink paint, which again, it's not difficult. Well, this wasn't difficult, it was just tedious. It's not difficult, it is a little time consuming because you have to wait for the paint to dry, but it's actually kind of relaxing after a while. So I made this for like $5. You could buy it for like 20, or you could just make it for like $5. And again, like the ash hat would not be difficult to do. Again, just more paint. So yeah, so that was, let's see, boots 8, pants like 3, 12, and 15 for the fabric, 20, $25 for this cosplay. Not bad. I know she's like a little less difficult than other Pokemon trainers, but I have a Pokemon trainer outfit, and I have an excuse to walk around a con with my favorite Pokemon plushies. And it's the best. And again, it's a super comfortable cosplay. So that's it for today. I'm going to keep trying to do these. And I think the next one will be Steven Universe's Aquamarine. So, there we go.